Hi, I'm Daron Raynor, fitness specialist with the Community Outreach Department, and I'm here to talk to you about how your slouch can lead to ouch. In our day-to-day world that we live in, when we're hustle and bustle, I want to ask these questions to you. Does this really apply to you when you look at your situation where you're sitting at a desk all day, you're slumped forward, and you're not exactly sitting upright as you should? You're in a slouched position. When you're driving your car, you're kind of just tucked back, you're reaching forward. You're sitting in what is comfortable for you. Just because it's comfortable may not mean it's right. And then as a result, we're walking around with back pain, shoulder issues, a lot of tightness, seem like we can't get that proper stretch that will relieve everything. So let's take a look at some of these risk factors. When we're taking a look at our posture, we're seeing that muscles in our chest are keeping us tight and muscles in our back become very loose. So it keeps us in this position, causing our shoulders to be in a rounded position. When you look at people's posture, especially when they're walking, you'll see that their hands go from a neutral position to kind of a pronated position where they're standing and they're walking and their palms are more behind them because their shoulders are tight and rounded in the chest. Also with that, we get a misalignment of our spine. Like I said, if you want to look at how your spine is misaligned sometimes, check how you're driving. Sometimes you're driving, you have a natural lean, you favor one side. All of that type of stuff can lead us to be out of whack instead of upright in our posture. Believe it or not, another risk factor that we have is our lung and breathing capacity. When we're in this position like this, our diaphragm doesn't get the full expansion that it gets to give us what we call belly breathing. So many times we're here and we're taking shrugged type of breaths versus taking a big breath in through the stomach and back out. So we want to be able to sit upright in order to allow the air to flow in a much shorter, easier range, takes less energy, but it also provides us with a deeper breath. Finally, we have our complications with digestion. When we're sitting in this slouched position, as we've been talking about, many times our food doesn't get the type of beneficial travel throughout the body as it should. When we're in a more upright position, it takes less energy, but it allows it to digest freely in a way that better allows absorption as well as less complication in our digestive system. So let's take a look at a couple of exercises to improve our posture, specifically in our shoulders and also in our upper back, okay? The first thing that we have is shoulder circles. Now, what I really like about this is this allows us to really open up our shoulder blades. It improves our mobility. So all we're going to do is we just sit nice and tall, bring our shoulders up to our ears, kind of bring our head back a little bit as we drop our shoulders back and down, and then repeat. Tuck our chin a little bit, bring it up, move our head with it, and bring it back down. This is mobilizing the shoulder blades as it moves in its range of motion around the thoracic rib cage, as well as it kind of provides a little bit of stretch in the chest. Now, to go along with this, we would add a chest stretch. So all you're going to do is just sit here, bring your arms wide, think about a Superman chest. Bring your chest up and through as you open and come back. Now, if that's not where you need to be, then this is a good modification. You're here. And in the same way, bringing the Superman chest through, this is going to stretch those muscles out and activate those muscles in the back that we have that are loose, keeping us in a slouch position. Repeat this about 10 times. Take deep breaths all throughout. Again, we want to improve our breathing as we're working on our posture. And that's going to bring us into a better sense of being more upright, especially when we're at our jobs where we're typing all day or we're looking down at our phone. We want to be in these types of positions. The next one is a seated thoracic rotation. Now, this is one of my personal favorites because sometimes you might get a little bit of a crack, and this is you're not seeking the crack, but sometimes it does happen, and sometimes it is relieving. But what you're going to do, you're going to sit up nice and tall. One hand is going to come outside while the other hand comes across, just like this. And all I'm going to do is have relaxed shoulders, open my chest up as far as I can, take about 3 to 5 deep breaths. And what that's going to do is it's going to help relieve some of the tension up here again in the chest, as well as mobilize the thoracic cavity. When we're in this position, like I said, going back to our root, when we're in this slouch position, we get very, very stiff, where sometimes you'll be here at work, and as soon as you sit up, it almost pinches or it gives you a little bit of discomfort. Doing this stretch at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, and even at the end of the day, throughout the day, really helps to mobilize that thoracic cavity or the spine, the upper back. Okay? Next, we have this thing called shoulder external rotation. So going back to this, when I told you about our hands being behind us in this pronated position, this is called internal rotation. This is just another word for it. When we're internally rotated, the muscles in the chest, again, become tight. We want to loosen the muscles of the chest, and we want to strengthen and give a little bit more tension to the muscles of the back. So we want to go from here to a position here. When we're here, we're slouched. When we're here, we're open. This also helps benefit our breathing, as we said. So a way to help with doing that, you can even simply sit upright, and you can just focus on rotating your thumbs as far behind you as possible, holding for about 2 to 3 seconds, and back in. Do about 10 to 12 repetitions. And you'll feel those external rotator muscles on the back of the shoulder really activate. Now, if you want to add some resistance, take a band. A light band is really necessary. And you're just going to sit up tall. Your elbows are going to be to your side. And you're just going to, I say, open the door, pull it apart, and come back. One thing to note, when I pull, I'm not opening my arms out wide like this. My elbows stay rooted to my torso. And then I just pull the band out until I feel some tension in the back of my shoulders and come back in. You'd repeat this for about 10 to 12 repetitions, and you'll feel those muscles activating, which will then, over time, take you from here to here. Like I said, this is the goal. This is where we're at. This is where we want to be. Our next exercise is the banded pull apart. So as I was telling us not to do it with the external rotation, now we have a chance to actually do it. So again, we take our band. This time, instead of being anchored to our side, we're right out in front. And all we're going to do, keep the arms straight, open the chest up, and pull apart and come back in. A good imagination, as I say, is a Superman chest. As Superman would pull off his suit and show the big S on his chest, so we're doing here with the band. I open up, I bring the chest up, and I come back. Again, I can't repeat it enough. This is taking us from this slouch position to a more upright and favorable position for shoulder, chest, and back health. Finally, we have 2 exercises to help strengthen. So where we were doing exercises to strengthen small muscles, we want to get a little bit more of the bigger muscles and also the whole system together, because the body as a whole needs to work together. So the first exercise that we have here is the plank hold, and then also we have a row, which is also in a hold. I'm not going to get on the floor for you because we don't have time to necessarily get on the floor when we're in the office per se, but we can modify. So the next exercise that we have here is a plank hold. What I'm demonstrating here is a modified plank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my hands on my desk. And the nice thing is you can vary the type of difficulty that you want. So I'm going to walk my feet back to where I feel a little bit of tension throughout my whole body. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and hold that position for up to about 30 seconds if I can, 20 to 30 seconds. Focus on deep breathing and really mentally stretch the head as far away from the body as you can, as you stretch the heels as far away from the body as you can. This will keep us from being compressed and tight and things of that sort. So again, I'm here. My feet are about shoulder width apart. My hands are shoulder width apart. My head is stretched far away, and my legs I'm stretching as far away as possible. This is just to lengthen the spine and to tighten the core muscles that help us with our posture so we're not all wacky. So our final exercise that we have here to help with our postural improvement is the row, and it's going to be the row hold. So I have a band here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand on the band, or if I want to add a little bit more resistance, what I'll do is I'll walk my feet out a little bit, but keep my heels down as an anchor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit tall again, and using my shoulder blades and my elbows, I'm going to pull back, and I'm just going to hold this for as long as I can, upwards of maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Focus on deep breaths, but really focus on that pinch between the shoulder blades. What that's going to do, like I said, it's going to take us from this rounded posture into a more upright posture. The goal is to loosen the muscles of this chest and to tighten the muscles in the back to help us go from here to here. Now let's recap everything. The ultimate goal is to take us from this slouch seated position to an upright position. Some of the ways that we can also do that to improve is to raise our computer levels up to eye height or be in a standing desk, as some people may operate in. Another thing is taking our phones, as weird as it may sound, going from here to an upright position here. This is going to be favorable for our neck, our shoulders, and our upper back. When we do all of these types of things, we improve our health and our longevity. That's the point of all of this, is not just to develop muscle and to develop strength, but to give ourselves longevity in the long haul. We don't want to be later in life having back issues, having shoulder issues, having operations that could have been corrected simply by exercising and movement. And with that, I hope that some of these exercises will be beneficial for you in longevity purposes and also in strengthening the upper body in order to take ourselves from this slouched and ouch position to an upright, strong, and tall posture. I'm Daron Raynor, fitness specialist with Community Outreach. Have a good day.